Shabbat Shalom, everyone. How is your Sukkot? Are you having a sweet time? There is a blessing for the sukkah. Do you know the blessing for the sukkah? It starts the same as all the other blessings. It's Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leshev basukkah. And that means, blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by his commandments and commanded us to dwell in the sukkah. Have you been having a fun time in your sukkah this week? Maybe eating dinner with your parents and your friends and family? We've had such a wonderful time. Why do we dwell in a sukkah during Sukkot? Do you know? Yes, it's because Adonai tells us to. So in Leviticus chapter 23, beginning in verse 42, he says, live in Sukkot, in a sukkah, for 7 days. All native-born Israelites are to live in a sukkah, so that your descendants will know that I had the Israelites live in Sukkot when I brought them out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So when we do this, when we build a sukkah and dwell in it for 7 days as Adonai commands, then we are remembering that Adonai is our God. And there are some other things that we remember about this special time too. So I set out some reminders on the table. I have some interesting things on my table. What do I have? And why do you think I have it? What is that? That is a sandal. So this reminds me of Deuteronomy 29:5. During the 40 years that I led you in the wilderness, your clothes did not wear out, nor did the sandals on your feet. So this sandal reminds me that Adonai led us in the wilderness and our clothes and our shoes didn't wear out while he was leading us. Another thing that I remember when I dwell in a sukkah is that Yeshua dwells with us. So John 1:14 says the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And so he came and he dwelt among us, and he's coming back. And when he comes back, Revelation 21:3 says that the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. So when we live in our sukkah, we remember that God was with us in the wilderness, and we also remember that he's going to be with us again in the end. There are some other things. What is that? That's right, that's bread. This reminds me of John 6, verse 51. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Who's speaking? Yes, of course, it's Yeshua. And what on earth is this? Can you tell? That is a very full glass of water. And what's at the bottom? Yes, it's a rock. Why in the world do I have a rock in a glass of water? I'll tell you. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 1 through 4 says, I do not want you to be ignorant of the fact, brothers and sisters, that our forefathers were all under the cloud and that they all passed through the sea. They were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Yeshua. Do you remember the rock that followed them in the wilderness? And Moses spoke to it. First he struck it, and then the second time he was supposed to speak to it, he struck it again. But water poured forth. That is the rock that 1 Corinthians is talking about. That is the rock. And from the rock, they got water to drink. From the sky, they got manna to eat. God led them with the pillar of fire and the pillar of cloud, and he was with them. We remember all of this when we observe Sukkot. I can't wait to do it again next year. Shabbat Shalom.